All right, and now let me share my screen. Share screen. Oh, here we go. Here's Lavita. All right. What I want to do is share this PowerPoint real quick, uh, and it'll kind of go over what we're doing today from beginning. And let me see if I can move everybody out the way. Cornelius. All right, so what we're talking about today on Check Conversations, well, we got more people we're trying to admit. All right. So what we're, again, talking about on Check Conversations today is just building a breakthrough budget. And what we're really talking about is breaking generational financial curses through budgeting. And I've known Brian for a few months now, and I just really been impressed with who he is, how he and his wife work together. He's moderated several of my Check Conversations clubhouse rooms, and people have really gotten a lot of value from him. I've gotten a lot of value from him, and so I connected him with one of our new team members, and I kind of started thinking to myself this week. I said, well, what can really enhance our community's lives? And budgeting is really something that again we aren't taught. Some of us may be, but I'm sure to the extent that Brian does it, probably not. But again, I was never taught about budgeting. I was taught about budgeting in the business realm, but never for my family or personal finances. So definitely a great opportunity for us. And with Check Conversations, anything that provides us value financially and for our families, that's what we want to do. So going through that today, let's see if it'll let me go to the next slide. Hello? All right. So today's agenda, we're going to go over the prayer. We're going to go over our mission statement again. Like last week, we're going to talk about a member in our community who's a Check Conversation superstar for this week. We're going to do the introduction of the moderator. We're going to tell you at the end of the introduction and the moderator session about Check Conversations a little more. And for those who want to stick around, we're going to go over an optional stock market overview of what happened last week, what's the outlook for April, the rest of the year, where the market's heading. But again, that's optional because today's agenda is primarily just about budgeting. We want you to focus in on budgeting, and I am as well. I'm not the greatest at budgeting. I've told several of our Check Conversations members about that. I'm like, I'm good at it with business, but with my personal finances, I need to be better. So I'm definitely. Somebody laughing at me. All right. Well, so definitely glad to have Brian here for that. So our mission hasn't changed. We want to get 1,000 families successfully in the stock market, building successful portfolios and learning trade practices that facilitate generational wealth for their families. In the course of doing that, we also want to look at opportunities to enhance your lives through other means, such as budgeting or learning about other business ventures that could add value to your lives and increase your profitability. So again, that's kind of how we got into this session today on budgeting. And so again, I never announce who we're going to highlight every week, but this week's Check Conversation superstar is Lavita Conley. She's been in a lot of conversations with me this week, bothering me, calling me, and I really appreciate that. When I say bothering me, I like that. I like when people are engaged. She successfully invested and became an owner of 2 new companies. These were long-term investments. And Lavita's strategy, I really like her thought process. Somebody else is trying to join. Hold on. Where's the chat? Oh, okay. She said thanks. Her thought process is always, I'm investing for a long term. I'm not trying to get quick gains. And so she's saying, well, based off the fundamentals, what are good companies to invest in, and she picked 2 great companies this week, and I think she's going to see some great financial gains from that this month. She successfully set up her account to options trade this week. So before you can options trade, you got to get your account set up to do that. So I know most of you all are set up with TD. I get started first. Robinhood has some steps that you do have to go through. So you're probably going to have to call me. I know those steps by heart because I've talked a lot of people through it. But Lavita really didn't have to do that. She got her own self set up, and she's ready to go. And I look forward to her making her first successful options trade this week. So again, congratulations, Lavita. Let's see if we can go to the next slide. What's this? Lavita said, whoop, whoop. All right, trying to go to the next slide, y'all. Let's see. All right, there we go. All right, so what we're gonna do right now is welcome Brian Thomas to Check Conversations. We are ecstatic to have him. We're honored. Again, Brian, a little bit about Brian. He's a career wealth building strategist who seeks to inspire, educate, and motivate individuals towards professional and financial greatness. He's a 14-year corporate leader and professional speaker and coach. His balance between career and personal finance topics generate great synergies between work and your wallet. Of course, you can read all of this, but the main thing about Brian is he's been hired and contracted around the country to speak to different universities, to speak to different businesses. I posted the pictures online. You can go to any of his platforms, watch a lot of his videos. He's amazing. And these companies don't hire him because they just have money. They hire him because he gets results. And that's what I love. He has this thing that I believe in called he's about that action. And a lot of people, some people say that, but a lot of people don't actually put those words into action. And Brian and his family absolutely do that. And really, really excited to have him. So join us in welcoming the CEO of Fast Track Consulting, Brian Thomas, to Check Conversations this morning. So Brian?
What's up? What's up? Come on, guys. I want you to take your phone off mute. How you guys doing this morning?
Doing well, doing well.
All right.
Doing well.
Hello, hello. Jay, thank you, man. This is not a fun conversation for many. It's not comfortable for most. We don't like being told what to do, but all of us are here. If I'm not mistaken, all of y'all are here because y'all trying to get that bread, right?
I am.
Right.
Yes, sir.
Absolutely.
Right. So, you know, the thing is, I had a buddy message me yesterday. He's like, Brian, you know, I got a lot of people doing investing, but they're not ready for investing. And I was like, what do you mean? He's like, they ain't got no money yet. And I was like, all right, budgeting. They gotta be able to get the bread right. And people look at me as the budget guy, but really, man, I'm all things with money as it pertains to getting that financial fundamentals in place. I know what it's like to have the 400 and some credit score. I know what it's like to have $20 to my name. 15 years ago, that's all I had to my name was $20. And like the Migos, some people get the bag and fumble it. Some people get the bag and flip it and tumble it. And all I did was take some lessons learned from my upbringing, growing up in the inner city in Dallas, Texas, and just took that to the corporate streets and then just said, you know what? I'm not going to be working as hard as I'm working, man. Y'all work y'all faces off in y'all jobs. I'm assuming for the majority of you, you got something that you're doing all day, then you turn around and y'all investing. Is that right?
That's it.
Right.
That's correct.
So,
Yes.
so y'all living like 2 lives just like me, right? So I'm working all day, then I come home every night and I'm helping people with their personal finances. every weekend. Last night, this morning, right after this call, I got 2 sessions right after this call with clients. So I know what it's like, y'all, and I'm there with you. Because of that, the critical thing for me is this: why would we sit there and do all of that work just to still be broke? That's a hard pill to swallow. That's a hard pill to swallow, is to do all that work and not see the growth that you expect to see to the bottom line. So we make all the money, but then at the end of the day, how profitable are we? And when I say profitable are we, I'm not talking about your personal business. I'm talking about you. I made a post on Instagram this morning about You Incorporated. I got a few more posts coming out about that, because at the end of the day, it's not about who you work for. It's not about your entrepreneurship business. It's about your personal money. What do you have at the end of the day? Are you a profitable human being? And I know that can come across as kind of rude and disrespectful, but I think I'm in a room with people who understand what I'm saying. At the end of the day, are we making profit or not? And if we're just working all day, doing a whole lot of stuff, investing in a whole lot of stuff, and we ain't winning at the end of the day, then it's for naught. The other thing is, for investors, I never want you to be thirsty in the streets. I never want you to be thirsty in the investment streets. And why I say that is this: when you are making investments, if you're a casual or aggressive investor, when you got your financial fundamentals right, you invest different. You sleep different at night. You have a little bit more longevity in the market. You don't trip when you're losing a little money and you want to pull out the market, because you don't have that financial foundation on the backside, and it's making you a little thirsty in the investment streets. Anybody feel anything I'm saying? Is this in alignment with maybe some of the things you're feeling, some of the things you've gone through or experienced? Y'all talk to me.
Totally.
Is that come on, help me out here. Twyla or Tyler?
Paula.
Twyla. Talk to me about that. How has what I said so far resonated with you? And tell me about how it penetrates your soul and kind of what's going on in your world with that.
The part about working a job, but still not head like I should be, because I don't know what to do with money.
Yeah, it's that concept of college, right? They say we go through all the grade school, we go to high school, some even go to college, some go to grad school. And they teach us how to make money, but they don't teach us what to do with the money. And for me, I'm gonna keep it 100 with you. I've always been decent with the saving, right? That's just as a kid, everything. I've always been decent. But about 3 years ago, me and my wife started to make some bread. Like we both making some good bread. And I look back after a year, y'all, and I was like, where'd that money go? Like, I'm like, dude, where'd that money go? And so we took it to another level. Now, like Jay said, I'm a little silly with it sometimes, but at the end of the day, I still spend, right? I got 2 kids. I got, matter of fact, y'all feel my pain real quick. I got 2 kids in daycare. I'm gonna keep it 100 with you. When you look at my personal budget, I got $2,500 a month just for daycare. So I have to be disciplined, because that money can just start going anywhere. So one of the things I'm gonna make a post on later this week on Instagram, I'm gonna say, don't eat yourself to death. And I ain't talking about dying. I'm talking about DEBT, don't eat yourself to death. How many people on here spend about a G a month on food? But don't tell nobody. But when you build your budget, you say $400. Be honest, who on here be lying about their food budget? Who lied to themselves every month about their food budget?
I'm gonna be honest. I don't lie about it. I know it's bad, because I go to the grocery store way too much. You know, my kids have fickle appetites, so yes, I'm throwing it away.
So look, the one thing about the budget is this, right? And I know budgeting could feel restrictive. It can feel like you're trying to take something away. That's not what it's about. there's two ways to look at the budget, right? The budget is just, hey, where is my money going? Right? The very first thing I do with my clients is I just sit down and say, where is the money going? My first reaction isn't to try to restrict you or tell you overspending on something. That's not step one. Step one is just, where are we, guys? And let's be honest with it. For most, and I say 99.9 because I say one client gonna give me one day, most of my clients, when we sit down and go through the personal finances, have never looked at everything. They've never looked at all the money in one spot. And because of that, we always are gonna have a little leak. There's always gonna be a little water dripping through the faucet. And for those of us who are in this investment space, every dollar counts, because for every dollar that you waste, for every dollar you throw away, every dollar that gets unused, Jay, you step in here. What are we talking about? On average, the market's giving you about 7 to 10% on average every year through like the history of this thing.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Yep, that's way better than banking 7 to 10%. But again, the problem that we all struggle with, including myself, is, yeah, what happens to that money?
So the reason I'm bringing that up is, just say at the end of the year, we got a little 10,000 that we don't know how we messed this up. We don't know where it went. If my math is correct, that's $700 that could have been gained on that money if it was in the market. So not only did you not lose the money, but now you got $10,700 that now gets the ability to go into the compound interest world. Are y'all feeling me with that?
Yes, sir.
I mean, think about that, guys, how powerful that is. We're talking about going from losing 10 G's to making $10,700. We're talking about a $20,700 swing in your annual finances. You do that for 10, 20 years, you're talking about a change in the millions of dollars of your net worth. Because of compound interest, right? At the beginning, it's just 10,700, but I know y'all know the game. Because of that compound interest, that's a lot more as that thing grows. And so at the end of the day, when you're like, oh man, I need to sign up for this program, this sounds dope. Is that dope for me though? Is that dope for my family? Is that dope for my circumstance, my budget? Is that part of my investment strategy? So what I like to know is, from anybody on here, and I want y'all to be transparent, right? This is about us learning and growing as one. Does anybody have an investment budget? Like, I am going to invest this amount of money on a monthly basis. Who has that?
Y'all better be raising y'all hands.
And it's okay if you don't have it. You might be like, look, I'm just investing whatever I got. But does anybody like say, hey, I got this, I know every month I want to invest this amount?
Yeah.
And that amount, is that working for you so far? You liking it? You feeling good about it?
Just start. Don't know.
Would you like to double it?
Double the amount a month?
Yes.
Yes.
And what would you like to find out that doubling it doesn't require you to do any extra work?
Yes.
And would you like to find out that doubling, not only does it require you to do less work, it might result in you having better discipline. It may result in you being more physically fit. It may improve your mental and physical health, because that's what comes with budgeting. At the end of the day, guys, we just talking about behavior. We talking about behavior. Y'all can't be hypocrites now. You can't be out here having investment discipline. Some of y'all are super disciplined in your investments, Y'all reading options, y'all trading, y'all over here reading articles, y'all looking at the labor stuff. I was on the internet last night watching how many jobs are open in the month of March and how many jobs are open in the April. And I'm thinking, okay, which companies and which investments? And I'm not the investment guy, right? I like to just get all this information. I'm like, y'all over here analyzing this, and then y'all putting y'all money into that. But you can't tell me why you spending $200 on cable. I told an entrepreneur here recently, and I don't hope to hurt no feelings when I say this, but I'm honest with my clients. I told an entrepreneur recently, I need you to cut some things off your TV cable subscription bill. And the question was, why? Don't take my TV from me, right? So my concept with that is, why are you watching TV? And I'm not saying don't watch any TV. I'm not here to be reckless. But what I'm saying is, don't purchase things, don't put things in your budget that actually can pull away from you getting the bag, that can pull the time away from you doing your investment analysis, that can pull the time away from you getting a few more bucks in your entrepreneurial endeavors, that can pull away from a phone call with a networking partner, that can pull you away from a Zoom event or an in-person event to grow your business and grow your business partners. I know Snowfall is a good show. I know Power is a good show. That his son just be irritating everybody. I get it. Like, that little boy is just be tripping. And I get it, right? I get the sports, but I'm gonna just keep it 100 with you because I love you. At the end of the day, ain't none of that got nothing to do with your investment. None of that got to do with how you take care of your family. And so I say that to put a little bit of seriousness behind that, because we may see that little $100 a month as, oh, it's 100. But what we just said about compound interest, that 100 is actually 1,200 at the end of the year, which is about 80 something dollars. So that really means that if we would have just saved that, we would have had a swing of about $2,500. So if every Christmas I gave each of you a $2,500 check, would you be pleased?
Yes, sir.
That's what the cable and subscriptions are doing to people. It's taking away a $2,500 upside. That's a $2,500 swing. So look, let me hit you with this. We so crazy on the budgeting these days that we say, oh, look, folks bragging. I'm gonna keep it 100 with you. Folks be bragging to me. Brian, I ain't even got cable. I was like, okay, but what subscriptions you got? I got YouTube TV, Hulu, Netflix, HBO Max, Disney Plus. Like, how much is that? $175. Well, shoot, you should have just got cable then. You may have even came out cheaper.
Mm-hmm.
So even we're even tricking ourselves, right? Because we're saying, oh, I ain't got this. But when you lay the money out, right? That's the thing. You got to lay the money out. And I want to know if y'all think I'm off my rocker here, but who on the phone is sometimes like, you know what? I don't even want to look at it. I look at my money religiously. The more I get, the more I make, the more I look at it. But for some reason, when the money ain't right, we be acting like we don't want to look at it.
Ooh, that's so real.
So true.
That's real. So true.
Cringe every time I go into my bank account.
Yes, sir.
We be like, we be closing our eyes, hoping that the number go change or something.
Mm-hmm. Scared to look at it.
I'm sorry, because I love y'all. We got to keep it 100 here. I ain't above the fray here, man. I've been there. I'm still there on some things of my budget, but I have put my family, I put the things I got to do for my mother in a more important spot than that missing that budget. it's that serious to me, right? My mama called me last week, and there's some things, and I'm being 100 with y'all. I'm about to pay my mama house off in the next year. I got to do some upgrades on it, then I'm gonna buy my mama's house. And I can write the check right now. I can afford it right now. But I also got a family, right? And I got to make sure I take care of my main thing, which is my wife, my children. And so I got to take it to a new level. And I told my mama yesterday, I'm about to turn it up for you. Your son about to go to the next level. And Jay can probably see on my Instagram, you could just probably see, you know, I don't have a whole lot of followers and nothing like that. That's not the kind of guy I am, but I'm about that business. And you could probably just see every day I'm punching in the face. Who's ready to work? Who's ready to work? Who's ready to work? Who's ready to get their money right? Who's ready to take their career to the next level? Who's ready to negotiate? I got to pay my mama house off, bro. That's serious to me. That's really, really serious. So when somebody come and try to pitch an idea that don't make no common sense, okay, Brian, you want to start doing this? You want to do this? You want to buy this? That's $1,000. Okay, that's $1,000 more away from buying my mama house. So my question to you is, if you are struggling with your budget, have you truly set your priorities, your loved ones, your goals, your missions, the things you're trying to accomplish? Have you really taken them serious? Now, that's not a shot at you if you say, Brian, I probably haven't. What that is actually a moment of change. So I want to hear feedback from somebody on that.
I mean, honestly, no, I haven't.
Who was that speaking?
It's Terrence.
Terrence, okay. Talk to me about it, Terrence.
So yeah, I mean, so, you know, I find myself in a position where, of course, you know, I want to set a tighter budget around things, but you know, it's one of those things. So just say, for instance, with, you know, I don't actually watch a lot of TV. I watch very little TV, you know, and I have the, you know, my cable is pretty much just around the basic things and just internet, because it's just one of those things that you need. But I do have subscriptions to the streaming, to you know, to a few streaming things. And for me, it's not, you know, to have those subscriptions, it's not for me. I don't have the subscriptions for me. I have them for, you know, because that's stuff that for my kids. So it's not for me, it's for them. I'm not, you know, trying to use them as the excuse for having it, but it is something, you know, that they enjoy. So, you know, I'm sure, you know, I've tightened the belt around myself and taken, you know, some things away from me, you know, and I try to be very disciplined around those things. But yeah, I can do better. I want to do better.
I respect that honesty, man. And you know, I never want to shame people for them saying, you know what, B, I got that little $13 on the Disney Plus for my kids. Like, there's nothing wrong with that, man. Like, I get that. We're not gonna trip. We're not tripping on $13. But I do want to make sure that we are looking at everything. So from the budgeting standpoint, there's two things that can come out of that, you really budgeting and looking at everything as a whole. One good thing is we may find out we got some spending that we can cut back on or reduce or eliminate. That's cool. That's one side of it. Y'all, I'm gonna keep it 100 with you. The other side of this thing is that you may just find out you need to make more money. We're gonna let that sit for a moment.
Now that's one thing I can agree with in the whole making more money thing. So I will say that for myself, about a year and a half ago, I, you know, that clicked and I said, I need more money. So I sat down, I looked at everything that I was doing within my job, my day job, my 9 to 5. I looked at everything that I was doing. You know, I looked at what I've done over the last couple of years. I went to my boss and just said, I need more money. And so she said, well, you know, why is that? And I had my proposal already drawn up, sent her the email, And she said, okay, I will take this back to, I'll take this up the chain and see what happens. And I got an increase. So like I said, that was like a year and a half ago. But now I'm looking at it now, and more is being tacked on from a responsibility duty standpoint for me at work. And now I'm saying to myself, okay, by the end of this year, I'm about to start working on my next proposal, because you're adding more to me. So therefore, I'm coming to you asking for more money.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I respect that. Has anybody else? Oh, I won't say, if you haven't done it, you may not even notice, but do you have like an itch that you may be like, look, I think I'm spending okay, right? And it's just an assumption, right? We may sit down together and find some opportunities, but I think I'm okay there. But man, I ain't got a whole lot left at the end. Is that anybody on here where it's like, man, it's just not a lot left? And I'm not here to attack. This is a safe space. I hope we're able to be a family and be honest with each other here. Because at that moment, like Terrence just said, that's a moment where a person like me is not gonna be like, go keep cutting your budget. At some point, you gotta live. You gotta enjoy your life a little bit too. We're not here to just be in pain all day with that. But what I want you to do is to realize, okay, there's some other decisions that have to be made then. Some of us may think we're too good to have a second job. Well, a side hustle is a second job. It's just a job that, you're your own boss, but we may have to do some things necessary to get that money right, because I love investing. I love it. I think it's a beautiful thing what you guys are doing here, but you can't maximize this group without the proper funds. Because yes, you can say, like last year, I think I got 33. My investments were 33% up last year. But if I had $10,000, that means that I had $13,300 at the end of the year. But because I've have hundreds of thousands of dollars in the market, that was a nice chunk of change. My net worth went up higher than my salary. So that was called your money making money, right? And I got a decent salary. So it was a very interesting thing to think, guys. We're not just trying to invest and say, oh, I'm investing with $500. That's cool, but that ain't getting y'all where y'all trying to go. That's not getting your kid through college, right? That's not paying that house off. That's not being able to make that big change in your community. Y'all are trying to get to where you got thousands and hundreds of thousands. That's where we're trying to get to, which means that we can't leave a lot of meat on the bone. And with budgeting, I just don't want y'all to leave meat on the bone. So let me be quiet for a moment, and I'd like to hear maybe a question or two from the audience on this topic, or if you want to expand but outside of the budgeting on the personal finance tip.
Hey, Brian, I just had one question before everyone else asks questions. It sounds like, and I've heard this before, it sounds like you're saying there are basically two types of people out there. Ones that are budgeting, and their finances are too slim for them to grow their wealth, and so it sounds like they need more profit, either a bigger salary or a second job or a different business. And then it sounds like there's a second type of person or that falls in the category that I probably fall in, is that no matter how much money we keep gaining, we're still spending too much to grow our profitability in a way that's meaningful, not just meaningful, but actually maximizing it. So just wanted to throw that out there for the group, is that no, it's not just one category. It sounds like you're saying there are multiple categories that we may fall into, but understanding that category first may be that a pivotal point for us.
No, that's on point, and man, we call that the creep, the that scope creep. If you're a project manager, a program manager, or something, they call that in business. But basically, it's like, oh, I'm making more money, I'm spending more money. And, I'm gonna give y'all a couple things that me and my wife did to help stop that for us. And so, over the last few years, somebody go on mute there. Anika. All right, awesome. So over the last few years, we had like an increase of about $70,000 to $80,000 in our income as a family. But what we decided to do is we said we reached our cost of living. So from a budget standpoint, we have maxed out the way we want to live. So if that's, I want to spend $5, $6, $7, $8, $9, $10,000 a month, whatever that number is, we made that decision that we're done. So no matter if next month I get a promotion and make an extra $100,000 a year, it does nothing to our lifestyle. The only thing it does, it puts more into the savings, more into the investment. But from an expenses standpoint, we are not changing our expenses. That was one of the major changes that helped my family with keeping that income and spending creep from occurring. The other thing that we did is we also did enjoy a little bit. So Jay, we did, as that money, we made a little money, we did like something nice, right? We didn't live it though. And that's really important, y'all. Do nice things, but you ain't gotta live it. And what I mean by that is we may take a nice little trip. We may go to a nice little restaurant. We may have a nice little day of shopping, but that don't become the lifestyle. I'm not living it. I went and experienced it. If I want to rent a Bugatti for the weekend, I rent it. I'm not going to go buy one or lease one, right? So part of our budgeting that can help you guys too is, because you may say, Brian, I don't want to be so restricted I can't do nothing. Well, enjoy things, don't buy them, don't live them, right? Every experience ain't got to be had forever because you can't always maximize it anyway. There's no need for some of those luxurious items to be kept, but you can go experience them in small doses. You get that joy from it, and then you get back in the game and go do what you got to do for your business and your family. Never buy something, and you might want to write this down if you guys want to quote it, whatever. Never buy something that forces you to use it. Let that sit for a moment. And we do that a lot more than we know. Buy things that you may, first off, that you need to use, like toilet paper. Then you buy things that you may want to use, but be careful on buying the things that force you to use them. Now you may say, Brian, what are examples of that? Well, you may buy this 4x4 that you gonna use 5 times, but because you paid $12,000 for it, you feel like you gotta use it. You done paid all this money for a snowblower when you ain't got nothing but a couple steps to get snow for, a little square footage to get snow from, that you could shovel a little snow, but you done bought this snowblower for $5,000. Now you feel like you gotta use it. We do that a lot, right? I'm not big on the timeshares, right? And I have a lot of friends who get into timeshares, and I'm not a passing judgment. I get a lot of them that do that, but I'm not a fan of it because I never want to pay for something that feels like it's forcing me to have to use it. And that's a key in your budgeting. I had a client earlier in the week who felt like they was obligated to buy a certain dollar value of home and a certain type of car because of their job. Don't do something that's forcing you. This is you're in control of your money. You in control of your life. Those people ain't coming to your house and having to manage your finances and investments. We buy things we need. We buy things we want. And we very rarely buy something that forces us to have to use it. Give me some feedback, guys.
I
Hey,
just
Brian,
want to say, oh,
No, go ahead.
Go
Go
there.
ahead.
We'll go with Jasmine first. Ladies
Yes,
first.
please.
Okay, I just want to say, Brian, you are in my house on so many levels. Last night my husband said, "Hey, we need to start a budget. We need to stick to it," and I felt my heart drop, honestly. But here's the thing: I go back and forth. A few years ago, I was the one that was like, "Hey, we need to, see where our money is going, stick to a budget," and he was apprehensive. He was like, "Wait a minute, I don't know." So now, like, the roles have switched. Anyway, my heart dropped. I'm serious because it's like, oh my God, I'm scared to see where the money is going. But we need to, we really have to. And he said, look, we got some stuff we need to accomplish this year. And all that sounds great, but just the whole being disciplined and actually seeing where your money goes, it hurts. Because I remember when I was adamant about it and sticking to it, it was good to know exactly where every dollar was going. It hurt. I ain't hurt sometimes. It's like, oh my God, I can't believe we spending all that on food. I can't believe we spending all that on this, that, and the other. But you are in my house. I just want to say that you're in my house.
Well, and I think that's why Jay, asked me to come today, because I think we know that this is a serious topic, right? If you rock with me, the people who do work with me with my service and stuff, like, it's gonna be a fun moment. Like, we're gonna have some fun, we're gonna laugh, but I'm gonna push you, right? Because at the end of the day, like Jay said, I'm about that action. Because there's somebody depending on me. My little kids depend on me. My little girl needs to see a strong man in her life. My wife depends on her husband. Now, my wife a beast though. Like, she a boss lady too, but also she wants to see her man doing his thing, right? I got family that things gotta get done. I got future generations that I'll never see, that I just want a picture on the mantle that says, granddaddy did it. Granddaddy started it. Grandma got that thing rocking. And because of that, we take it serious, right? And we like I said, we're gonna, when you building your budget, when you going through your finances, the way I go through it, and I'll do a quick share screen. Jay, I know, do I need to stop talking, man, or how we doing on time? Keep it real with me.
No, look, I don't need any time at the end of this. So, like, this is extremely important. I'm enjoying it. I'm looking forward to actually sharing this on multiple platforms. And I'll take general questions at the end of this session if anybody wants to talk about the stock market. But honestly, I think everyone's really excited about this. And I look forward to hopefully bringing you on at least hopefully once a month. But if I can't get you on once a month, once a quarter to help us and just talk through this, man, this is amazing. So you got as much time as you need.
Okay, so how, audience, I'd like to get your feedback. Can y'all got time to rock with me for a moment?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Awesome, thank you. So can you see my screen?
Yes.
Okay, so what I like to show you, just real simply, is actually the tool. So for those that work one-on-one with me, this is the tool that I'll walk you through. So we'll start with our financial goals. So I'll take you through what is called your goals, your gifts, and your gaps. It's what I call the 3 Gs. And what I mean by that is, we all have our financial goals. We all have gifts. There's things that we're good at. There's things that are like, God just blessed us. We got natural things. And then we got gaps. And so then I also want to know, why is that a goal? The combination of all of that is going to help us put together an action plan to reach those individual goals. Anybody that works with me knows that I always start with this. Why do I start with the goals? Is because I start with the behaviors. You control the behaviors, you control the money. You control the behaviors, you can control the money. Come on, I need somebody with some energy that's really about this life. I need you to say that loudly. Come on, class. If we control our behaviors, we control our money.
Control the behaviors, you control the money.
Amen.
Amen.
Absolutely.
So look, we get our goals right. Before I even talk about how much money you made, blah, 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 how much debt you got, I want to know, what are your goals? I want to know the things that you're gifted at. I want to know the things that you feel like you have a gap in. And I want an honest assessment of these things. And I want to know why you put that as a goal, right? An example here was saving the 20K. The person is a very good saver and they can cook. So they can save money on food. That's their gift. Their gap is they're not a good negotiator. So they just pay full price for everything. They don't try to work the cable bill down a little bit, or they don't do that. And they also, they set this goal because they want a little bit of protection so they can have a little emergency fund for their family. So it's really important for them to get to this 20K mark. And for those that went through COVID-19 last year and lost your job, that emergency fund was important. If did nobody ever in your life think that an emergency fund was important, last March should have taught you that. Amen.
Amen.
I mean, be 100 with me. Did anybody here or anybody you know, close relative, family, friend, did last March become a rude awakening for somebody?
I'll jump in and say yes. My company, and unfortunately, we had to cut employment by 20%, and I was unfortunately a part of that decision making. So yeah, it wasn't a fun time at all.
So look, so I appreciate the honesty there, Jay. And look, a lot of people went through it, man. A lot of us went through it. It was hard. It wasn't easy. And that's why we working all this and getting all this money right and finding out the different streams of income. But it doesn't matter if I got 5 streams of income. If I got one massive stream of expenses, your streams of income are estuaries into that body of water that's going into the ocean of major expenses. So it don't matter. I want you to have discipline on the spending side. So while you building those streams, your net worth is going higher and higher and higher. Profit. Real quickly, we'll go into credit tracking. So just very simple, credit score, key actions to get it better. I'm not the guy that's like, leverage your credit, do this, all that. I'm not gonna be there for you unless that's where you want to go. So from a credit standpoint, I take you where you want to go. But this is important because it could be, we may be making a future purchase and we may make decisions like if you're nearing a major purchase, some strategies and things that you want to do to protect that credit score in the preparation for those purchases. The debt tracker. So this is one that, man, I got clients who have never looked at all their debt. They got plenty of them, but they never looked at all of them and made the right decisions. And sometimes, and this is 100%, I'm at about a 40% rate with my clients where when we lay it all out, we knock out a debt or two in the first month. In the first month, at about 40% of each client I work with, because they never laid them all out and didn't realize, oh, I can knock this out. Why? Because we are in the mindset, that if I can afford it, I'm good. Don't buy what you can afford. Don't pay for what you can afford. Pay for and buy what is in alignment with the budget. Because somebody may say, oh, you can afford this $300 a month, whatever. Well, but is that part of my plan?
Good morning.
Good morning.
I should roll by.
Oh.
So your debt will go through, go on mute, sister. Then we'll go through our monthly expenses. So I just put some examples of things. One thing with people and their monthly expenses is we guesstimate how much we're going to spend, but I really want you to list everything. And like I said, I never will tell a client not to put the reality of their money here. Put the reality of your money here. Then we're going to go through our monthly spending so we can get our income versus spend deltas. Some are good, some are bad. We'll go through that. And then you're going to sum out here at your retirement account will be the last place. So we look at all of our Roth IRAs, our HSA, our 401ks for you and your spouse. We get that summation over here at the far left. Then we come to the master sheet that has our net worth tracking. This is very important because we can be all in the business of making money, but are we growing our net worth? Are we preparing ourselves for financial freedom? Do we give ourselves a chance to retire, either retire early or retire late, but are we giving ourselves a fighting chance at it? So we may have, you start here with your retirement money, you got equity in your home, all of your savings, checkings, all that money goes here. And these are your assets. And then you have liabilities, which are your debts, and it'll give you a net worth. A lot of people find out that they have a negative net worth. And I don't have people who get discouraged if you work with me, because that's just where you are. I was at negative net worth 8 years ago when me and my wife first together bought our first house with negative net worth. And being 100 with you, we'll be millionaires this time next year. And that's just the way it's going to be. We'll have about $1 million worth of assets in a couple months, but we got to pay the house off. So we got to figure out how fast we want to pay it. We want to pay it early. I can pay it off in a couple more months, or I can wait to make sure I keep a certain emergency fund. But I use this file, I use this system to make that transition for my own family. And that's why I say those things. I don't say that to be braggadocious. I'm a very humble guy. I'm a real guy, but I want you to know I'm not talking about something. I don't talk about this. I do this. So this is what I do for my family on the first day of every month. I update my file and I provide the report to my wife. We review it together, and then we keep it moving, make any adjustments that we need. This is the exact system I walk through with each one of my clients. And I promise you this, I've never had a dissatisfied client. Matter of fact, within the first session or two, you're actually going to find out that you can make a good decision quickly that can make a shift in your finances very, very strongly and have great results. So this is the system I go through for you. I'm going to stop share there, come back here for any questions you guys have on this. I'm here to serve. I'll put just briefly, because I'm not sure when y'all will drop off. I'm gonna type on in the chat my Instagram. I just put that in the chat feature. Please stay connected with me. Follow me there. If you are serious, very, very serious about wanting to get the foundation right so you can free yourself up to do more investing, DM me today. Anybody that DMs me today, I will take off $25 off of my monthly coaching services. And I will get you started ASAP. If you are serious, come today with that and I'll take that off. There's actually a client, Jay sent me one of his team members already. I'm gonna refund that client today $25 since they already are working with me. I'm gonna send that back to them because they are part of this community and I don't want them to feel like I did them wrong. So they're gonna get their money back on that. But if anybody is serious, I'm not here to play games with you. Jay has entrusted me with his community, which means that I have to deliver to his people with the same quality that he delivers to you. But I want you to take it serious. So if you send me that message, I got 10:58. If you send me that message before noon today, after I get off the phone with another client here at noon today, you send me that message. I will make sure you get that discount. If you don't, then you need to think about it, and tomorrow you send it. We're still gonna work together. You just don't get the J investment group discount from today, because I really want people to take it serious. I want you to challenge yourself, and I'm gonna challenge you. I'm gonna love you. I'm gonna love this process with you, but I also want you to take it serious and make sure we do what's necessary for our families. I love to do this. I love to work one-on-one with people and support you at the highest levels so you guys can get back to Jay's group and invest at the highest levels as well. Any questions for me?
I don't have a question, but I do have a comment. My name is Tori, and I'm new to this group. And I'm also, my husband and I are new to the group as well as new to working with, we're the clients that signed up. Jay connected us with Brian. And I just want to highly encourage everybody to definitely consider taking Brian up on his offer, because we have had one full session, an introductory session with Brian, but everything that he's saying to you is true. If you've ever worked out with a personal trainer, basically this is the process that you're going to go through with Brian is, a full accounting of where you're at. And we actually learned yesterday going through the process that one of our goals was to be debt free. We're closer than we realized. And it was because we went through the process of filling out Brian's financial tool. And so we're very excited about moving forward. He called us out on a couple of things. One of them was the TV. And I did push back. And our plan for cutting TV is we're going to send our kids up to Brian so that they can say, no, I'm kidding.
Let me say something to him. Let me say, and this is Keon Bishop, Tori's husband. With Brian, I think it's a truth session. I think a lot of times when it comes to finances, it's a touchy subject. It could be a sensitive subject, but I think Brian is real tactful when it comes to showing you where you are. And like Tori said, it's like walking in the gym. You admit the truth about yourself. You admit the truth about what kind of habits, your spending habits, what you're doing, and he keeps it real with you. But just this last couple sessions, we've learned so much that the way we talk, our conversations have changed now. So the way we talk about what we're going to do, everything's changed. So yeah,
and that's real.
It's been excellent.
And even Brian, you don't know this, but we had purchased a computer for business purposes. And after we got off the phone with Brian and looking and going through our finances, I was like, honey, this computer that we purchased, are we going to get a return on investment? Was it worth that? We went in and canceled the purchase. So I just want to, close out with strongly encouraging you guys, if you're looking to get an assessment of where you are, and then have a coach that you can call on before you make major purchasing decisions, come up with a life plan for your finances, sign up, call Brian, get that consultation. It's time, because there's some things, there's money out there this year, but it's not going to stay like that. And you're going to need a plan. So I hope all of you have a blessed day and a happy Easter, and call Brian today.
Thank you for that, Tori. I didn't know that was so authentic. My God. I'm a crybaby, so I'll cry in front of people. But thank you for that, because we just got together. I think we talked last Friday night with the bishops. We had a good chat. May have been just earlier this week too. I'm not sure, but they got the file. They was like, look, give us the file now. Let's get going. So we actually had our first session last night, and I'm gonna keep it 100 with you. They about to, they got a chance to make some decisions within the next week that is going to be like significant thousands of dollars of shifting of things, just in just looking at it the right way. And sometimes that's all that we need. And that's what Jay, what you're doing on the investment tip too, is sometimes we just need some people in our lives to help us see it the right way. Good people, genuine people, not vultures, not people trying to take from us or hurt us. People, good, genuine human beings. And that's why with Jay, man, I told him, just a good person, man. And what ends up happening, and I don't know, it's divine to me, right? I feel like God is working through us here. Is just look at the quality of humans in this room today. That's the dopest thing. At the end of the day, money is good, but the quality of people that you are around, the quality of people you get to take this journey with, people that push you, right? Like you said, I'm a little bit like your financial personal trainer, right? So I'm pushing you a little bit, but even that push is out of a place of love and care for your family and the goals that y'all have. And so it's a beautiful thing what you have created, man. Your group of people that you're working with, your character that I seen on Clubhouse, man. Crazy part is, Jay, I tell everybody, like, what's crazy, I'm a married man, but on Clubhouse, I like to listen. I like to listen to relationship stuff just because if I have a chance to interject some words of wisdom to help somebody, I want to do so. I connected with Jay on like a relationship Clubhouse. But he and I saw the quality in each other's character, which ended up finding out what each other does outside of that. And it's led to us now, without us being in business together, he and I are now in business together. Because I, at the same time, am like, bro, okay, I got people that need to learn investing and they need a community. Let me also refer them to Jay now. And I had a buddy I messaged this morning on Instagram because I want to get Jay speaking at a conference. Jay don't even know that. He learning that right now live on this call, that I'm going to get him connected to speak at a conference. But that's the genuine nature of being around good quality humans. Y'all are some dope people, and I appreciate y'all for that.
My God. Anybody else have any questions for Brian? Again, hopefully we can get him on at least once a quarter. I'd love to have him on. If I can get him on more frequently, that would be great. But you have this opportunity that is very rare. And again, Brian did this out of the goodness of his heart. He charged nothing for this session at all. So I would say get your money's worth, because again, it's a free session. So get your questions in if you have them, and if not, I definitely want everyone to follow Brian at Brian Thomas Speaks. He's put it in the group chat. He's also, I see a Facebook page. I randomly typed in the name at Brian Thomas Speaks, and it's a great following there. He's got a lot of great content, and like definitely reach out to him. So, any questions?
I do have a Facebook group, just real quick. It's I got to do better with it, but it's about 400 people in there. It's called Fast Track Wealth Builders. I'll type that as the name of my company. It's Fast Track Consulting. Anything we do, we want to get on a fast track. So I just put this in the chat, and this one is on Facebook. And then anybody wants to connect on LinkedIn and stuff like that, y'all can. As Tori will let y'all know, I'm a real dude. I'm a real person. I got a little family. I got a five-year-old son, and I have a almost 8-month-old little baby girl. Been married almost 8 years. I live here in Michigan. I'm from Dallas, Texas. Lived all over the country, traveled all over the globe. I'm very respectful of people. I like to laugh. I like to challenge. I like to have fun. So I'm a regular dude. And like I said, I got to get my mama house paid off. So y'all know one of my key goals. I like to toss that out there because I believe we put it out there. We keep saying that it's going to happen. So I got to say it. I got to say it. I got to say it. And it builds that fire in my belly to make sure that I don't play around with the greatness that can be achieved. Greatness awaits from you. Greatness awaits for you. For everybody in this room, greatness awaits for you. But it won't wait for long. It won't wait long. So you better go get it while you have the stamina, while you have the knowledge, while you have the power to do it. Go reach it right now, because it won't wait for long. Any questions for me? And it could be, you can go a little bit outside outside of just budgeting. It could be a little simple personal finance question or something.
Hey, Brian, I just have a question for you. So I'm just curious. So what is the, not, well, I guess, how many sessions, do you normally do for your clients? I mean, is it just based on what their need is, what their want is? You would just
Yeah,
do
we can
whatever they want?
we can customize it for each individual client, but typically, if you say, Terrence, what does it typically look like? It typically is gonna go, we're gonna have a conversation, right? So we'll get together maybe 15, 20 minutes, get to know who each other are. You can make a decision if you want to meet once a month, or if you feel like, hey, Brian, I got to get this thing tight. I got to get some discipline. Let's meet twice a month. So I offer a once a month and a twice a month package based off of, it's really not based off your needs. It's a combination of you thinking what you want and me saying, do you really need that? Because if you're a person that's like, I need two times a month, but I'm like, nah, you only need one, I'm not going to take your money. I wouldn't do you like that. But that's something that we'll agree upon, is do we need to do once or twice a month? The only commitment I have for people is to please commit to 6 months. So you can make a significant change. If you want to go beyond that, you can. But just so I don't like this flavor of the month stuff, right? You might be like, oh, this is my flavor of the month. No, this is a lifestyle change, right? This is like those who make decisions on their health. If anybody's been on a health journey, or if you've been on an education journey, those are lifestyle choices. And so now what we're trying to do is make you have a lifestyle choice with your finances. So that's the way we would set it up. We talk all things finances. And then the beautiful thing is this, when you get to the point with me where we have went beyond my knowledge base and we need some other financial services and tools, I keep a beautiful network of people of color to be able to connect you with, to be able to get all the proper things. You never have to make another money decision without having a good soldier behind you that's protecting you from the foolishness. And that's something that we don't always have. And we get caught up and we make purchases and we make investments and things. And we didn't have that financial counselor, right? We can build what Jay's doing, what I'm doing. We're building some counsel around you with your money.
I'm on. See how you did what Dad told you. You don't feel like you can do nothing. I said, you know that needs to be put up.
Get them, Rita. They better put that up. They better put it up.
That's my mama.
Hey, I love that. That's how I got scared. I start putting my stuff up.
Oh, that was my mama. I don't think she knew she unmuted herself.
So would it be best to connect? Would it be best to connect with you through your Instagram or Facebook, or which one?
Actually, Instagram. Just hit me up on Instagram today. Today's really a good day. I got a few hours this afternoon where I'm free. My family's out, so this will be a good time to connect this afternoon as well.
Okay, I'll hit you up on Instagram then.
Yep. And any other questions, guys? Jay, thank you for this, man. This is man, y'all some beautiful people. Throw something out there. Let's toss this out, Jay, as a topic for the future. Let's toss out leveraging the health savings account and the investment aspect of the HSA.
You above that's like the kid said, that's above me. I'm gonna write that down, and then I'm gonna learn from you on the next session with everybody else. Because
well, we'll toss it out just real quick as a little nugget. So not everybody knows what an HSA is, a health savings account. Some people have heard of what is called flexible spending accounts. A flexible spending most of the time is a use it or lose it system, where you may be able to put $2,000 in, and at the end of the year, you gotta spend that $2,000 on medical stuff, Tylenols, Advils, prescriptions, visits to the hospital, etc. HSA, on the other hand, is typically a rollover system, which means that it becomes a debit card. Now, the beauty of it is that it's tax-free. You don't pay taxes. So it comes out of your income and it goes into an account tax-free. So every medical expense you have and you use that, you saved whatever your tax rate is. So if you're around 25%, you saved 25% from every medical expense. So for my daughter and for my son, I was preparing myself to be a husband when I was single. And so I put money in my HSA. So my children, their births were already paid for in my HSA for both of them. But the reason I bring it up to you guys is not just that piece of it. It's really because if you grow your HSA, you can invest that money. You can put that money in the market and help it grow. So a lot of people don't know that about the HSA, that you could actually put it in the stock market. So that's just a topic as we look, Jay, at maybe, you know, me making a quarterly appearance to your audience. We can diversify our topics, and I can look at things that are centered around investing. So I always have that link to what the core principle of your group is, but I just bring my little twist on it from a personal finance standpoint. That's all.
Brother,
Brian.
I'm sorry, go ahead, Terrence.
No, that's very interesting. I never knew that about HSAs because I've always just stayed away from it because I just never felt that, you know, was never any benefit to me because my annual medical bills were always low, very low.
Yeah, but do you wear glasses?
I do.
So you just lost 25% on every time you buy a new pair of glasses.
Right. But the thing about it is my health insurance pays for it.
They're free?
Huh?
They're your glasses?
Yeah, I mean,
free?
yeah. So my vision, everything, all that is, most times what I'll end up doing is just paying for the contacts, and I don't wear them all the time. Yeah. So I don't have to pay, you know, like I don't have to buy like a year's worth of contacts.
But what I'm saying is, do you spend a single penny on anything medical?
I may end up coming out of pocket, I guess, what, like $100. So I guess I'm losing that.
You buy Tylenol, Advil?
Nope. I'm not a medication person.
You guys don't have nothing if you get a headache?
No, I don't. Nope. I try to stay stress-free and away from them. I'm not gonna. I mean, that's the thing. I don't do a lot of medication. Fortunately, you know, we're all fairly healthy.
Yep.
So, I mean, I don't have any, you know, monthly.
But you could trip and fall and twist the ankle one day.
Yeah, I could. You're right.
You might not get a headache, but you could fall down.
Right. That's correct.
So it's and so this is the important thing about it. And like I said, we'll get into a deeper session. Everybody's not as low spending on their medical as you, right? I had a baby this year, so I had a nice healthy bill. Well, it was nice to know that I spent that money at a 25% discount. So this is the beauty of the investing side, Jay. So you get the 25% discount because you don't pay taxes on it, and you get to invest it tax-free.
Yeah, that really stood out to me, and Terrence, definitely applaud you with your holistic medicine, and again, but most like Brian said, most of us we need to get to the Terrence side where we're more holistic. But my medicine cabinet is full. I told my dad when I got that second COVID shot, I was like, I'm finna be medicated because I ain't finna be getting all these side effects. So I did not know. I definitely have flex spending, and I think I actually am enrolled in No, I know I'm not. Well, I need to go back and look. I don't think I chose that allocation, probably because of Terrence. What Terrence said, I'm like, well, if I don't really need it, I got a flex spending card. But I did not know that what I was getting was tax free, and I also didn't know that I could invest using those funds. And if I can invest using those funds tax-free, even better, because you know with a Roth, your tax going in and coming out. So yeah.
And then the other thing too is that it's just like if you leave that company, you get to keep that money, right? So it basically just becomes a debit card. So we'll do a lot of research together, Jay. We'll get, you know, like I said, on a quarterly basis or whatever frequency you want me to come and serve the community. We'll do some investigative work, maybe put together a couple slides for the family and make sure we're properly educating you not only on just what I'm saying, but actually go back and do a little more research as well to make sure that I'm giving you guys really good information. But this is not a lie. Like I use my HSA And I just made some posts on Instagram about it. You can see some of the comments from some of the people that I work with there. They use it religiously, and a lot of people don't think when they're single that they need it because they're healthy, they're single, they're young. And like I got lucky, I prepared for my children. I prepared to try to be a husband. I was preparing, I was in preparation mode. And thank God I put that money in those accounts, because when my son was born, we just paid, we write the check. And that money was not even money that I couldn't even spend that money, right? Because it has to be used on medical. So I can't even be silly and go buy a cheeseburger with it and waste it on a trip. So that's the other thing, is that it forces a certain level of discipline. But there's all kind of little topics like that. And what we'll do is link all of that back to investing. So it puts, all of this is going to be things that we can do to put us in a better position to be investors.
Well, look, we can definitely talk about the frequency offline, because I love to have you once a month. But I said, so as often as you want to come, we definitely look forward to having you. I will say 5 more minutes on questions, because I know I got a one-on-one session at 11 o'clock. So look, take advantage of your time, jump in. I know Terrence been asking questions. Anyone else have any questions?
And I do recommend that if you do financial stuff, make sure, like if you're dating somebody, if you're married, then it's an absolute, we have to have that alignment. But if you're dating guys, start understanding people's relationships with money. And jot that down, Jay, as a topic. Relationships and money, marriage and money, dating and money. Those can be different topics. But if a person's willing to lay down and have physical interaction with you, you guys should be able to have good, healthy discussions around their relationship with money. And that's just, we'll let that sit for a moment. We do a whole lot of other stuff, and then we get so surprised about money. Well, we should have been talking about it when we was dating, when we was taking vacations.
That's deep.
We was flying him out. I was getting flown out. He flying me out. Yeah, but what's the relationship with money? Right? Is it healthy? Is it painful? Is it just lack of information, lack of education? Is there some bad habits? Is there a family issue? What's the relationship with money? Just like you want to know if a man, how he treats his mother, how he treats his sisters, you want to know how he treats his money. What is his relationship with it? Did he come from it? Did he not come from it? Is he scarred? Is he frugalous with it? Is he frugal? Is he a visionary with it? Does he look ahead? Does he, all these things are important, men and women. And we don't touch on that enough, guys. And then we get into marriage and we're like, oh my gosh, we're so surprised that the number one reason for divorce is money. Well, guess what? It's the one thing we didn't talk about, but we did a whole lot of other stuff. Well, why didn't we talk about money? Because we both were uncomfortable about it. And that discomfort from both of us led to a bad marriage with it. And then you get a divorce over it. Because what usually happens is one person has that awakening and they realize that the other person is never going to change. Well, it's likely they were the same person before you met them. You just never knew that relationship because it manifested itself during the marriage because y'all didn't talk about it when you was single and dating. We'll let that marinate for a moment.
Brother,
hopefully I ain't hurt no feelings.
Brother, you've been preaching better than some folks been saying amen this morning.
All right, one last question. Give me one question, then we up out of here.
Well, look, they've had opportunities. We're gonna get to the benediction. So again, for anyone who's new, I think we've got maybe 1 or 2 new people on. Definitely, we invite you to be a part of our community. You can go to www.checkconversations.com And you can just sign up. We have sessions every Saturday morning, but we also have one-on-one sessions. We're invited to other sessions that other members of my investing community are a part of around the country, like Lawrence Eggleston, We Trade Academy out of DC. So we just, again, we have conversations surrounding enhancing your lives and your family's lives. So we were extremely blessed to have Brian this morning. And we look forward to hopefully having him. I'm gonna throw it out there maybe once a month. Yes, please tap into him again at Brian Thomas Speaks on Instagram. Tap into him today. He said preferably before noon, so you got about an hour and a half to get that in for that discount. And if not, definitely talk to him afterwards at any time. That being said, I am going to get ready to close out. I will take any stock market questions after we close out for anybody that's still interested. But I think is Terrence still on? Yeah, he is. Terrence, you always do an excellent job praying out. I'm going to call you Bishop Terrence from now on. So we got Bishop Terrence on the line. Please close us out.
Okay, everyone, bow your heads. Dear Lord, just thank you for today. As we thank you for each and every day. Thank you for the information that we've received today. We thank you for the gentleman, Mr. Brian, that delivered the message today. It was very good and some good information. Pray that the information provides us with the knowledge we need to continue to move forward, grow our finances, and to as we grow our finances, that we pray that it allows us to budget those finances in a very beneficial way. We just give you thanks for everything that you continue to do. I pray that everyone on this call today has a wonderful and safe Easter, and that next week we pray that you will continue to grow our finances within the market, as well as grow us as individuals. We just give you glory for each and everything that you do for us, dear Lord. Amen.
Amen.
Amen. Amen.
Man.
All right.
Amen.
Thanks everyone for joining us. For those who want to stick around for about 5 minutes, you're welcome to. We'll just do a quick market recap, and for those who don't, we appreciate you coming.
Thank y'all so much. Y'all be blessed.
Thank you.
Talk soon.
Have a good one, Brian. I'll hit you up, man.
All right, let's see who's still on. Okay. All right, since you all are staying on, we're gonna give let's see, I'm gonna wait till everybody drops off that wants to drop off. I'm gonna give a quick 5-minute recap. Take any questions on the stock market itself, just provide a little outlook on April, and we'll close on out for those who are part of the community and they're still on. Let's see. All right, we still got some people on, so let's talk a little bit about what happened in the month of March. So month of March was kind of a roller coaster for the stock market. You saw some record lows. And actually I'll share my screen and we can look at some of them. But it also provided some record bounce backs and some record buying opportunities. So our focus this entire month has been teaching you how to options trade. And so the reason that we wanted to teach everyone how to trade options that's a part of this community is because whether the market goes up or if the market goes down, you can do what with options trading? Anybody.
Make money.
You can make money. And again, we highlighted Raven Brady Tyler last week because that's what she did. She jumped into it. She was the first one in the group outside of Ronaldo, who's been doing it for years, that actually learned how to options trade, jumped in blind without any counsel, and actually made money on her first trade. So definitely want to applaud her there. I know Levita's getting ready to jump in. So the question is, just to give you all a quick recap, and then I'm going to share 2 things on my screen with you all, is number one, to have a strategy that we talked about. So when you're investing in the stock market, we're investing long-term, right? And we've gone, all of us, except those who are new, who've never been here, we've gone through an introductory PowerPoint. And if you're new, you haven't gotten that PowerPoint or sat down with us or missed those sessions, just email me via the Chet Conversations website and we'll send that out to you. But like Brian talked about in our first recording, in our first session, we talked about compound interest. And so we gave the example of with Apple, if you're investing only $200 a month over 20 years, that ends up being over, I think over nearly $500,000 if it's at like 40%. But Apple's been averaging around 70% a year over the last 5 years. So that means that $200 a month that you're investing in a company that's giving you about 70% with a compound interest calculator makes you a millionaire, right? And so we've gone over that. I've sent those PowerPoints out. The key thing is in these markets, especially in months like March, is to have a stop loss or a stop limit, all right? And you say, why, all right? You don't necessarily have to do one. It's not gonna hurt you long-term, because long-term, one of the second things that we highlight is that the stock market is a forward-moving vehicle. So no matter what happens, the stock is continually over time going to increase. So let me pull up an account and let's be visual learning so we can see what I'm talking about. Let me go to Robinhood real quick. Let's open up one of these play accounts and let's look at, let's say Apple, APPLE. And let's look at the last 5 years. Let's look at the last year, March. Let's look at 5 years. All right, I'm gonna share my screen real quick. Share screen. So if we're looking at Apple and we're saying, okay, in March of last year, what happened? Somebody tell me real quick. In March of 2020, what impacted the economy? COVID. So it was on this upward trend and then it went down, what? Wow, almost went from $77, $80 to $50. So it almost took 30 out of 80. It took almost like a 30, 40% hit in 1 month. Then what happened with Apple?
Start going up.
It went higher than it ever did after that hit. So what happened? The stock market gives us these seasonal trends that people don't pay attention to a lot. That's why, like, I love Lavita. So what she said, and what I'll repeat is, when you're investing over the long term. You're not thinking about just normal trends. You're asking yourself, is the trend over time going up? And as we talked about, are they consistently meeting their earnings report, which they are? Apple's one of those companies. So what happened this March? The stock market did what again?
Shot.
It went down. So guess what's likely to happen now moving forward?
It's gonna go up.
It's gonna go up like it did last year. So when we have these big dips down, these are great opportunities to do what?
Invest.
To invest, right? And so that's what we don't want to miss out on our strategies. Number one, yes, we want to have a stop loss in so that if it goes down, great, we sell and we keep a number of a high percentage of our money so we can buy more shares so that as the market goes back up, we make even more money. But the key thing is, if we don't have a stop loss or stop limit in, is to not get afraid, because we understand that over time, the market's going to go back up, especially if we can pick a sound company. So Apple's been trading in a range for a while. NIO went down. It's been trading in a range for a while. Let's look at 5 years. So it was having record growth. It dropped down, and then it got more bad news. It says, "Oh, great, we're going to cut production by 500 cars." All right. So there's some news that I do want to share. Let me see if I can go to my downloads, which is why it's good to do research and not panic. All right. So let's see. I don't know which images. I don't know if this is Levita image or probably Levita image. So I was doing that. Well, it's not showing. Yeah, that's Levita's image for the awards. Let's see if this is one of them. So let's look at what happened that people weren't paying attention to with NIO. So NIO in the month of March, even though their stock price went down, they had a record 7,257 deliveries in March and over 20,000 deliveries in the first quarter. So what does that mean for that company? If they beat their forecast and they're hitting record deliveries, what does it mean for their profits?
That is gonna.
Long term, that's another reason that I didn't sell. And this is one of the companies in one of my portfolios. I forgot to even put a stop loss or limit in, but I didn't worry about it because I know that they're more than just an electric car company. I know that their trend over time is in a positive direction. I know that 9 out of 10 times they're going to hit their forecast. And now you're telling me that this company just has record deliveries. So over time, what is this company projected to do?
Increase.
Increase. And what's it trading within right now? A good what? A good buying range. Anything around 36 to 30 is a great buying range for this company. So what I predict for April, I want to look at United States Steel. For the last 3 months, United States Steel is up 44%. And remember, this is one of the companies I had on the list since $18. And they keep going up. They're breaking through their support or resistance. So what are they breaking through up here that you see that they just broke through? What's it called for those who have been a member of the class?
Resistance.
They broke through that resistance and they keep going higher. What did Biden just do? I predict that this is going to be a $40 company by the end of the year. What did Biden just do? Anybody know the name?
Yeah, he laid out his infrastructure plan.
He laid out an infrastructure plan. What's that going to require? More what?
Steel.
More
Metal.
steel. So that's why a guy told me last year, and I was bearish on it, but now I see it. He told me around $16. He was like, yeah. I was like, yeah, it's going to fizzle out. And I was wrong because I didn't play into, number one, this is a solid company. It's been on a downward trend, but it's been fairly trading within a range over time. But with Biden in office, he's doing the same thing that Obama did. He's saying we're going to invest in infrastructure for 4 to 8 years as long as Biden's in office. So the more steel that's used, the higher this company is going to go. And so that's why it's definitely good to look at them, consider them. And again, they have not missed a forecast in the last 2 years at least. So just wanted to give you a little outlook on the market. I do expect April to be a good rebound month. It's either going to be a flat month or you're going to see a strong upward trend. But the good thing about this year is there are going to be some companies that if you pay attention in the news, that are going to be great recovery stocks, like Carnival Cruise, but then you're going to have great infrastructure stocks like United States Steel. But then you're going to have some stocks that may stay flat most of the year. You may have NEO trade within a range. You may have Tesla. It's going to go up. It's going to hit $1,000 by the end of the year, but it may be slow doing that. It may go to 700 for 2 months, and then 800 for 2 months, and then 900 for 2 months. And it may seem slow, but that's called growth, all right? And we're not in the Trump era where things were growing extremely fast. We're not in this era where everything's just moving forward, and we've recovered over the last year. So with these 5 million new users or investors, the market is really trying to do what this year to those new investors? Anybody who's been a part of the group, what's the market trying to do to new investors?
Run them off.
It's trying to run them off, right? Because they're hurting a lot of these hedge fund managers, but also the system isn't designed for everyone to be rich, right? It really isn't, right? And so a lot of people have taken their stimulus money, they're taking their unemployment money, and they're investing it, and they're finding a way to live. And the market really, a lot of people that control the market really aren't in favor of that. So Warren Buffett said this, and people have been repeating it all month. He said the stock market is a tool to take money from the inpatient and transfer it to the patient. So what that means is people that have jumped into the market and they aren't patient, they aren't willing to wait a year or 2 years, they want these quick gains, they're scared, and they just pull their money out and they don't invest, well, they're gonna lose. Warren Buffett was completely patient, and he invested in Bank of America 2 years ago, and no one understood why. I didn't even understand why he did this, because Bank of America was fairly flat, and then they went down. But Warren Buffett is one of the richest men in the world, and he understands market. He knew something was going to happen, and recessions happen every 10 to 15 years. He knew something was going to happen, and he knew that banks were set up to benefit from that in the long run. So even though Bank of America was trading within a range, it's now trading at what? At a lower or higher level than it's ever been.
Higher.
At a higher level than it's ever been. So again, he wasn't betting on, oh, well, this thing stayed flat for a year or 2 years. He wasn't looking at that. The majority of us were. We were like, man, this ain't no good return on my investment. But now he's starting to see record growth. And I think he's going to see this stock price hit $60, all right, this year. And if it hits $60 this year, he's not worried about these other 2 years. He just said, okay, well, I just made 100% over the last 4 years. His goal is only to get about 20 to 25% a year. He did that by being what?
Patient.
By being patient. And actually, he can make a lot of money, because during these years, the only thing he has to do every month or every quarter is to keep buying what?
More shares.
More shares in a range. So he's buying those shares in a range. He didn't panic when it took a hit. He probably had a stop loss or a stop limit in, purchased even more shares with that same amount of money he had left from the stop loss or stop limit. And now it's making way more than 100%. He may be making 200% based off the number of shares he has. So that's kind of a market recap. March over the last 2 years has been a tough month. We saw that the importance of having stop losses and stop limits in place. For those of us who did not, again, you're going to see the market recover, and it's going to continue to go up over time. And the key thing every month is to do what? Somebody asked a question. The key thing is to invest, to stick to your strategy and to invest. And if you choose to deviate from that strategy, be able to discuss why you're deviating. If you're saying, okay, great, I don't want to invest this month, I want to save this money, put it to the side to invest double that in the next month because I feel like, hey, this is not going to be a good strategy this month, then great. Okay, just be able to justify that. But the reason that I had this budget guy on is that if you're not good with your budget and you're not investing every month, chances are, what are you going to do with that money that you should be putting aside to invest the next month?
Spend it.
You're probably going to spend it. Me, I know me personally, I can't speak for everyone. If I'm not investing, if I'm not putting my money in a business, I'm like, I try to keep my money out of sight because I like to spend money. I like to eat. I like to overeat, which is a problem. I'm trying to put myself on a diet. And if I see stuff, because I do make a certain amount of money, then like I know I can buy it, which isn't a good thing. So again, the key principles are keep investing. The stock market is a forward-thinking vehicle. Definitely have stop limits and stop losses, and continue to do research with us and understand those fundamentals of, is this company that I'm investing in trending upwards over time? Do they have strong financials? Do you have personal conviction about those companies? And if so, definitely keep investing, because that's the only way compound interest is going to work. So for those who are new that's still on, let's look at a compound interest calculator one more time, and then we're going to close out. Let's look at a Nerd Wallet one. And so what do I mean? Let's say you start out investing and you don't have any money. I'm going to start with that. And you put $200 a month into over $200 a month into a company like Apple that gets you traditionally over the last 5 years around 70% return on your investment, which is crazy, because Nerd Wallet will only let me put 50% in because expecting 70%, they say is crazy, but that's what Apple's done. So over 5 years at only investing $200 a month, you're talking about $54,000. I'm going to keep going up year by year. This off of $200 a month. By year 11, you're a millionaire. At the rate that Apple is currently trading at 70%, this is just looking at 50%. So this is why we don't want to get impatient. And this is why we definitely want to make consistent contributions monthly. Because this is a great, wait. I knew something was too good to be true. Let's make that back. Let's backtrack. All right, it's gonna compound annually. So over 2 years, we're looking at $6,000. At 10 years, we're looking at $281,000 off of, again, just $200 a month. At year 14, with only $200 a month investment on a company like Apple that's averaging 70%, but we're only putting in 50% on this compound interest calculator, you're at $1.4 million in 14 years. And so that's an amazing amount of money over really a short period of time. A lot of us, that's before we even retirement age. Again, just wanted to give you a quick overview real quick as we get ready to go into April. Definitely want to continue to talk about options trading. But I also want to kind of get your feedback over the next week on what you want to learn, what you want to do in the stock market. We're finna get into technical analysis. So I definitely want everyone to be able to options trade before we get into technical analysis. But if there's anything that you want to learn or want to know about this coming month of April, shoot me an email or a text or put into the group message, and we'll go from there. So any questions so far before we close out?
No, sir.
Okay. Well, love you all, and we'll do it next week.
All right. Everybody have a happy Easter.
Happy Easter.
Happy Easter.
Easter.
Who cooking dinner? Who house we going to?
We saving money.
Oh, that's why we trying to go to somebody house, one person house. All right.
All right. Bye, everybody.
Bye.